Hello, everybody. Look at this dapper and brilliant panelist crew here
Hmm.
assembled. I know Tommy has duty um, over at the racetrack this afternoon, so he's not going to be able to join us. And Terry, I think he might be in the jockey club, but if he does roll around, we able to break free, we'll grab him because he always has relevant information for the crew. I'm a little bit dog paddling right now because I want to make sure we get everybody on the call that wants to be on the call and don't have a late run with information, people coming on at the last moment. Let's see here. We're starting to get a few extras, but I think we can start. We're a minute past, and we've got I think, a reasonably together group. So here we are. It's time for yearlings. It's that time of year. Um, that's what the focus is going to be, really, aside from racing at Del Mar, racing at Saratoga, with and a little bit at Colonial, because we've got obviously the Arlington Million Day coming up. But we're in the middle of sales season starting next week with the yearlings popping on at the select sale at Fasig-Tipton up in New York, and then the New York bred sale the following weekend. And before you know it, Keeneland will roll around, and we will be focused in on the 1-year-olds. So I'm joined by my colleagues, all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to be a part of this strategy call, if you will, and just going through a few of the logistics that are important for everybody to keep in mind when we get ready for these sales. I just got back from Del Mar. It was flat out amazing. The weather was perfect. We already got a win out there in the first week, so the pressure's off. The wins at Saratoga, legendary already, so the pressure's off there, although you want to do really well for the rest of the meet with all those big stakes coming up, including this weekend. But the Saratoga sale is upon us, and it's special. Why? A number of reasons, but let's start with Flightline, and then you can just kind of drop the mic, so to speak. We bought him back in 2019. I still have the video on my phone. A very special night, obviously, that changed the pathway of our company and of the industry in general. So the Saratoga sale is special. A few housekeeping items. The webinar we're on right now is being recorded. The recording is going to be posted to Chatter within the next 24 hours, and then Friday's email bulletin. If you haven't signed up for text messages, check out the website and Chatter. Your sign up covers you for August and September sales, so you'll be good to go. You'll receive short lists ahead of each session, and will be alerted within minutes of us buying a horse. So you should do that. And it's still time to RSVP to the ever popular Saratoga Sales Tour held Sunday. The numbers were boffo last year, close to 50 or 60. So it's Sunday, August the 4th. You meet me, Danielle, the team, tour the grounds on the eve of the first session. Check out the site for more details, and I'm talking about the West Point site, and RSVP to Danielle Austin. Casual dress, going to be warm, typically closed-toe shoes, and a go-get-'em attitude. It's always helpful. Also, mark your calendars for both select sales days. The 5th and 6th at 4:30 Eastern Time, we'll host our famous shortlist calls, and you'll hear from the team on the grounds and learn about which horses we're ready to go after at that point. You'll also receive an email with the official syndication information. You're all not newbies here, usually within 48 hours of a horse being purchased. However, if you follow along during the sale, we encourage you to reach out to any one of your client reps as soon as possible if you like something. Once the official email goes out, most of those horses are well on their way to being sold out. That's just how it works. As far as the overall calendar look goes, the Fasig-Tipton Select sale Monday and Tuesday, August 5th and 6th, really the social event of the summer. Evening sessions, they do have food and drink there, cocktail attire, kind of suggested, not demanded or necessary to get in, but you will be surrounded by the beautiful people, so to speak. Then there's the Fasig-Tipton New York bred sale on Sunday and Monday, August the 11th and 12th. Then the big kahuna, Keeneland September sale in Lexington, Kentucky from the 9th through the 21st of September. It's the marathon yearling sale, more than 4,000 horses cataloged. And if you're attending any one of these sales, please let Danielle know. We love spending time with y'all at the sales, and we're happy to provide you with an inside baseball look at how it all works. You just got to let us know you're going to be there. Without any further ado, I know Terry is in the middle of meetings at the Jockey Club, critical meetings that we'll get information out about for the round table. But he did pass along a few, I think, very pertinent thoughts. We're always thinking about looking at ways to get better. We've obviously put together a world-class team of people who are paying attention, trying to stay ahead of the game. A lot of competition out there, as everybody knows, but we'll continue to do the best job possible to get the best prospects for our partners. And one of the great things about our particular model is that we buy horses at all price points, really, and we race coast to coast. Sometimes we take those big swings on big dollar horses, and sometimes we are rewarded, as is the case of Flightline. We're going to continue to partner with outside entities as we buy horses. You all are familiar with some of the names that we've dealt with. They're important. Those relationships are important. They give us the ability to provide partners with a wider selection of horses, so the volume increases. And we do things the right way. We take care of our horses, so people will want to partner with us, and they do. We know it's a high risk game, and there's power in numbers. So, Terry said it before, I'll say it as well. There's real power in the partnership, especially at the highest levels when you're scouting stallion prospects. And we've had a few over the years. After we get the process that the team goes through, after we get the short list from David and Gordo and his team, we will go through the barns and start looking horse by horse. And we'll hone in on the horses that we'll go after. Probably have meetings afterwards. Probably that Sunday afternoon, we'll have a meeting just to kind of hone down the first day list, or maybe both day lists. And then we'll start getting the vet reports in, knowing that we go the extra mile. So if you've got a horse that's got a little bit above just the normal, for example, sesamoiditis in the x-ray, we'll ultrasound that sucker just to make sure that we don't have any soft tissue injuries, as an example. The auction night, that's a special night. We appraise horses on the fly sometimes just before they go through the ring. And as far as keeping the bidding goes, that's an art that Terry and David have really, really mastered over the years. It's an art. It's not as much a science as it is an art. You get to see who's bidding around you. Potentially who might be on a particular horse, and that helps you go through the process of rolling ahead or saying basta. All right, Tom Bellhouse, it's your turn. Actually, no, it's not Tom's turn. The guy who's going to fill in for him is Jeff Lowe, I believe. New York Breds will be on the grounds in Saratoga for the sale held Sunday and Monday, August 11th. And Jeff, I'm not going to expect you to be nearly as well versed as Tommy, but the strength of the New York bred program, it's pretty darn important. And we're in the middle of the spa season, so important at Saratoga.
It's actually going to be me. Tommy passed the
baton.
Yeah, the resident New York bred is going to talk about the New York bred program. Listen, a certain New York bred got me into this game initially. Funny side, won the Kentucky Derby in 2003. That was like one of my formative memories. Got me into the game, and the program has only grown in importance and prestige, and most importantly, purse money since then. When you have a New York bred in New York, you get to run not only in restricted races just for New York breds, but you get to have purse incentives, purse bonuses when you run in open company. So it's an extra incentive, even if you don't run against New York breds. If you want to take on the Kentucky breds of the world, you get a 10% bonus first through third in those races. So that's a big help as well. The other thing too is the growth of the program is such that it's a bunch of top stallions. Look at a lot of the other state bred programs across the country, and it's mostly restricted to the stallions that are in that state, that are breeding in that state. In New York, it's not the case. Look no further than Tis the Law a couple of years ago by Constitution, obviously a champion in his own right. He's turned out to be a really good sire. You go further back, you had horses like Diversify and Mind Your Biscuits, horses that are by real top stallions, and you just have that quality up and down the book. If you didn't look at the cover, you would never know. A lot of times it's a New York bred sale because you got great pedigrees, great stallions, and then you can get the quality to compete at Saratoga without quite paying the super duper premium that you sometimes see at Saratoga and at Keeneland?
I think, for our purposes, we've been able to really add to the volume. And it's a numbers game. Let's not kid ourselves, Joe. It's a numbers game that some horses aren't going to work out. And if you have that many more opportunities to do well, we've really managed, especially partnering up with some folks that the Clements have brought to the table in that New York bred sale. Can you expound a little bit on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's we have the great relationships with people who are so invested and so well versed in the New York program that, it's just kind of thing that comes naturally when you're on the grounds and when you're looking at these yearlings. You have people who know how to navigate this system, know what to look for in the New York bred catalogs, and just know the benefits and the way to campaign these horses. Again, like the quality is through the roof relative to the other state bred programs, and it really is not that far off of the Kentucky bred program at this point. So we have the expertise to find the right horses and then to campaign them the right way to take advantage of all those New York bred incentives, bonuses, etc.
That's right. So there's two sales really to keep in mind, compacted back to back. The select sale Monday and Tuesday, and then the following, latter part of the weekend with the New York bred sale. All right, very good, Joe Bianca. Stay right there. Stay right there. Jason Blewett, come on on. Let's give you guys a point counterpoint. I don't know which of you is Jane Alexander and which one is, well, anyway, point counterpoint, the benefits of buying yearlings. Go, guys.
Well, I think in terms of the pool of horses that you can potentially jump in and purchase, when you're looking at the yearlings, it is just in terms of a numbers game, it is just a way bigger number and pool than what's available. And we love the 2-year-old sales, but the yearlings that are for sale clearly outweigh, if you added up all the 2-year-old sales in the spring, the March, April, and May sales, the Keeneland September yearling sale alone will have more horses for purchase than all 3 of those 2-year-old sales combined. So there's just way more variety. And Joe, I mean, you're a pedigree guy like I am. In terms of pedigree power, it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat the yearling sales, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. You get a lot more pedigree bang for your buck, I would say, than at the 2-year-old sales where you're just kind of looking for the fastest horse. You throw pedigree out the window a little bit. These are the top blue-blooded pedigrees up and down the book at Saratoga and at Keeneland in particular, and even at the New York bred sale. This is where you kind of searching for the residual value for horses. Fillies that can make it as brood mares and eventually be sold at the November breeding stock sales. And then potentially, if you get lucky, a stallion prospect. Like these are where you're going to find those horses, Jay, at the yearling sales, because it's a select sale. There's only a certain amount of horses that they're going to bring there, and they know that people are shopping for the top pedigree.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I also am such a big proponent, and I sleep well at night knowing that the yearlings that we have purchased in August, in September, even the ones, if we pick up a couple of yearlings in October, that those yearlings, which you might equate to a mound of clay or a blank canvas. I mean, these are young horses that have never had a rider on their back, have never had a bridle in their mouth, have never had a saddle on their back. Knowing that those horses have shipped basically from the auction ring to our people, mainly in Ocala, Florida. And of course, Dr. Eisenman's one of our big guys. Eddie Woods is the other. I mean, you're talking 2 world-renowned experts in the field of raising and developing future racehorses. As Dr. Eisenman often tells me, like when these yearlings come in, they know nothing about nothing and they start from scratch. And again, we've got our people taking care of our horses and designing training regimens and programs that are basically just tailor-made for each individual horse. I love that idea. And also along the lines, there's a lot of parallels, Joe. Like we can take our time. We buy a yearling, we send them to Ocala. We don't have to rush them along to get them ready for a sale in the spring.
No, that's a great setup because time is definitely your friend, when you buy a yearling, because, there are ways away from racing there's plenty of time for them to progress through to develop a great racehorse. You know, because there's no pressure to run. You know, with the 2-year-olds, you got a quick turnaround to run, and that's a good thing. But then with the yearlings, the positive of that is there's no pressure. They can't start racing until the next spring or next summer. So it's a non-issue having to turn them around quickly. You can bring them along at their own pace, a really natural pace. If your horse has a setback and you're dreaming of the Derby or the Oaks, chill out. It's a long, long way away. We're developing these horses for the long run. And yeah, like you said, Jay, what's great is each regimen for each horse can be tailored to the individual athlete. You know, some of them are going to be a little bit further ahead than others naturally, but we have our hands on them basically from the jump to get to know those individuals and develop them for long-term success.
No doubt. And one of our yearlings, I mean, we haven't had many 2-year-olds that have raced yet, but of the few that have started thus far, one of them happened to be a yearling purchase. His name's Keep It Easy. He's training. He's already a winner, and he's training towards the Saratoga Special. So big fan of the yearling program. And I know we're all excited for Monday and Tuesday to get this show underway.
Thank you, boys. Well done. I guess it wasn't really like the true point counterpoint, since you all were kind of agreeing with each other the entire
It's a
time.
love fest, dude. You
It's a
know,
love
when I
fest.
get together with you guys, it's just a love fest. There's no drama. Okay.
Speaking of which, let's bring in Trey Gordon, another part of our festival. Newest member of the team. Once was a partner not that long ago, you know, an owner of racehorses. And I'm proud, and he's probably embarrassed to say that I was the guy that got him involved in racing and catapulting down this pathway that has put him in the position he's in right now. Trey's got a unique perspective, understandably. He's been with West Point now for several months as part of the executive team. He was a partner. He bought into some horses that came through the Saratoga sale, the Spa sale, the Select sale. So Trey, if you would just kind of impart your experience attending the sale, and how did you zero in on the horses that you zeroed in on?
Well, thank you, Jeff. It's been a great thrill for me to attend the sale here. My first year to be at the Saratoga sale was 2022, and during the showcase, when we walked around and looked at the prospective yearlings, you know, I had a chance to see Sedona come out of her stall, and I turned to you after I picked up my jaw off the ground and said, "What a queen!" And I was ready to write a check right then. I told you, "Hey, if we buy her, I'm in, no matter what." And that continued last year.
I think I told you minimum 35% of her was what you needed to pick up, right?
No, I don't think that's exactly how it went. But last year, too, there was a lot of excitement, a lot of buzz. I had some friends up here that have become partners, which has been great. And we saw Yinzer, a twirling candy colt that David and Gordo loved. And we have now confirmed that he said he was not going to leave Saratoga without that colt last year. And he's an exciting prospect with Steve Asmussen. And we're really, really high on that horse. So it's really electric here, and you can start feeling a little bit of the buzz going on. I spent some time with David and Gordo this week, and I asked him about his overall view of the catalog and the horses that are going to be here. And he said it looks pretty good. So in typical David fashion, I think we're going to have a really nice group of horses to choose from, and we'll bring home several good ones.
I think, you know, the question that I'll point you, you know, in the direction of answering here is, it's okay as a, you know, prospective partner or a partner that is, you know, leaning towards buying at that particular sale. Once you've seen horses either in the shortlist call, or if you've been lucky enough to see them in person, it's okay to tap your rep on the shoulder and say, if you guys get this horse, I'm in. It really does keep you from getting shut out.
That's exactly right. And, you know, the horse, as a partner, when you're looking at a horse, the horse needs to speak to you a little bit. And if you feel it, then immediately get a hold of your rep and let them know you're very interested in that horse. And don't miss out on those opportunities, because these horses are going to sell pretty quickly, and we're going to be really excited about the group we have.
Very good, Trey Gordon. Well done. Okay. We've gone through it and did it in 20 minutes, which is, I think, fairly efficient. The lines are open. Now's your chance if you're interested in talking to any one of us, or chatting or doing a Q&A on any aspect of not just this sale, but the New York bred sale, the September sale. Heck, if you want to talk about the October Facing Tipton sale in Kentucky, we can talk about that one as well too. While we see if there's anybody who had any specific questions. Jason, you've dialed yourself up here, so you're the victim of the moment. What do you look for specifically in horses that go through the spa sale? Well, let's say the select sale. What are you looking for to target to talk to your clients about?
It really depends on each partner, what they're interested in terms of geography. And let's be honest. I mean, this is not, you called it a high risk, high reward game a few minutes ago. This is not an inexpensive hobby to be involved with. We all love racing more than anything, but it can be an expensive proposition. So the other important sort of notation is budget, in terms of what are these horses going to sell for? How hot is the market? I felt and feel like last August we came away with some nice value horses out of this sale, and we bought a couple of 7-figure horses. Yinzer comes to mind, but a Maui Strong also comes to mind, who was in the $200,000 range. So it really depends not only where people are most interested in racing, but for me, I'd say probably the number one is just in terms of budget. How much are people willing to spend?
And how much we have to spend, to get the horses that we want, and what kind of discipline we're applying to this one or that one. Joe Bianca, if you're still there, I got a question for you. And let's talk about this sale in particular. You, through your podcast, I think stay on top of these things as well as anybody else. You've got Resolute Racing right now. You've got this new Saudi outfit, Rentham Racing, who are two relatively new players, and I don't think anybody's really dropping out. Do you anticipate it being tougher this sale than ever to get that winning bid?
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely a factor. You also have some certain interests that used to partner up that kind of on the outs a little bit, might be bidding individually at this sale. So I think there's going to be, it's every year there's going to be a ton of heavy hitters there. We remember the filly, the Beholder filly, that sold for $4 million last year, that obviously had a bunch of fireworks. But yeah, this is the event of the summer at Saratoga. So you're going to see those private jets flying into the Saratoga airport, over the weekend, and everyone is going to get tied on, as Jason likes to say, and be ready to go full guns blazing when the bidding opens on Monday night. But yeah, I think your point is well taken, that there are some new buying interests with a lot of dough and ready to just pick up whatever they like, regardless of price.
Yep. Interesting dynamics. It all starts Monday night, short list Monday afternoon. The team, wait a second, somebody rolled in here. Gary B, thanks guys. Always informative to hear you and talk about the sales with your insights. I'll be on deck Monday and Tuesday. Anticipated short list info and on a hotline to Jason. So Jason, keep your phone warmed up and charged, buddy. I guess Gary B might be a player at this particular sale. Thank you, Gary. So with that little bit of sort of microcosm of enthusiasm, let me thank Jason and Joe and Trey and you, the partners, for joining us on this call. It's recorded, so you get to see it tomorrow on Chatter and probably on the website as well too. It is on. Here we go. Saratoga, been going on for a while, but the sale is right in front of us. Have a great rest of the day. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you Monday and Tuesday. Take care.